I am currently in my early 20s and I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder 3 years ago. Ever since a doctor told me that I have bipolar disorder, my memories have started to make sense. I just wish I had found it sooner so I could have done something about it. My depression dates back from an early teenage having intense feelings of sadness that would not go away. I couldn't find the words to explain how sad I felt and how terrible life was. These periods would last for a number of months, and then the fog would lift and I would start to feel more alive and more positive again. The first manic episode that I can recognize happened in my first year at college. I was studying politics and philosophy. I remember the stress and pressure of the impending exams and staying awake for days at a time to study. My mind was working overtime and I thought my studying was going very well. I was reading the work of some of the greatest philosophers and thinkers of our time. The philosophers and books I had been reading were finally helping me. I was convinced that I understood how to achieve world peace and that I alone could make the world a better place. I tried desperately to get my friends to understand. I would interrupt them in the middle of the night and talk at them about my ideas. I became increasingly angry with my friends, the fact that they did not understand what was happening. So I tried to convince my family and asked my family for money. I was spending money on plane tickets and bus tickets to travel the country and the world as I wanted to speak to world leaders. I spent so much money and found myself in huge amounts of debt. I had neglected to take my first year exams and was called in to speak to the staff at the university. That was the day I crashed. I was trying to explain what had been happening to me and I broke down to tears. I was sobbing and could not get the words out. I spent the night in a hospital as the college thought that would help me. I slept for the first time in weeks. The next day I started a rapid descent into depression. I felt achingly lonely and sad and continued to feel that way for months. The high had been so intense, I was going to save the world. But the low that followed eclipsed any feelings I had previously. This began a cycle of depressive and manic episodes that I have only started learning to manage in the last 3 years with medicines and regular visits to the doctor. I will probably stay on this roller coaster for the rest of my life. But with support, I can learn new ways to cope with it that keep me safe and stable.